Welcome to Conversations with Lauren and Ali, where we bridge all things in the spiritual and human experience.
This is a space where raw honesty meets higher truth, where personal stories open doors to deeper self-awareness, and where the messy, magical journey of being human is honoured as a sacred path of awakening. So, take a breath, get cozy, and join us in today's conversation.
I came into this an absolute fucking hot mess. I was like, I nearly was going to message you and say, I can't do it today, Ali. I feel like shit, but I'm fucking so glad I did. So thank you. Thank you.
Well, no, and thank you for showing up, right? Thank you for showing up, because this is what it is to we're in co-creation of that. And like when you started talking, I could tell that you needed to talk, but you were being actually very calm, which was, which was surprising. But and when you first started talking about what was you're experiencing, I was thinking, oh, we're not going to record anything. Like this isn't going to be recordable. But then as we went along, it was like, oh, holy shit, this is actually it's actually relevant.
It just shows you, doesn't it? Like if you just, fucking, grow some balls and just show up despite how you're feeling. I actually was like, I'm either going to message her. I'm like, I'd already said I was going to be late. So I was like, I've already fucked her around with her time. And then I was like, I just don't even want to get on there. And then I was going to say to you, like it crossed my mind, oh, I think I should not record anything today because of the way that I'm feeling. But then, yeah, it,
Well, I'm glad you did. And, I guess the thing is too, we don't even have to record anything. Like we could have done all of what we just did then and said, we're not going to share that. I actually think we need to because it's so
I do too.
powerful. Um, but I think, yeah, I think this is also important for you, but also for me to see about allowing ourselves to be held, allowing ourselves to be vulnerable, and bringing all of us that this is who we are. This is who you are. This is who I am, and we are here to just show up as who we are, knowing we are being held and accepted, and it's a safe space. And recording aside, because it'll either be for that or it won't be that, but showing up just however we're feeling, it's you're oh gosh, I can't get my words out now that we've done all that. This is powerful for you to allow yourself to be seen in these moments and to show up in these moments and know that you can choose differently as well. Because there probably was a you 12 months ago that might have said, "Nah, Ali, I can't do it.
Easily.
I'm not going to do it." But here you are now, you're actually choosing to show up in the difficult moments for yourself. It's not about showing up for me, really. I think it's more powerful because you're showing up for yourself. Maybe what's getting you here is me on the other side, but
Your role is like, no, yeah, I'm like, no, I've got to be accountable to Ali. I've got to be open.
but I actually think you're being accountable to yourself as well.
Thank you. Yeah, well, thank you for all of that you just did and for holding that space because I feel like I'm turning up here with my fucking issues every week for accounts.
Oh my God. But remember, don't forget last week. We really are swapping week to week. So you did that for me last week, and you're just experiencing an extension, right, of a different experience of what I was feeling last week. So we're modeling the different ways in which this will show up for people or how it shows up. And partly because Pause Consciousness was like knocking on the crown, going, guys, you're just not getting it.
You're talking about it every week and you're not getting it. That's what it felt like today. Honestly, I reckon the pause isn't going to come up anymore.
No.
I honestly do. Like I said, I literally wrote a post, like it was a download that I had yesterday, and I might share it today, but it was along those lines of like, what this year has taught me so far is about when you feel like you're doing nothing, you're doing a lot. Like it all comes back to this. My life has been on pause for like nearly 12 months. It's such a strange, like my work, my soul work, my light work, that feels like it's just been on one long pause, and it's it's been a difficult time to
Yeah,
try
yeah, yeah.
what the fuck is happening. But I had also remembered yesterday that my word for this year, both personally and collectively, was alchemy. And I don't know if I spoke to you about this before, and I've got it written down somewhere.
I
I've got
think I
it.
do remember you saying that. Yeah.
Yeah, I had like it was a message from Merlin actually.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, alchemy, like this year is going to be the year of alchemy. And when I think about it, I'm like, yesterday it kind of landed. I was like, yep, I see that it is the year of alchemy, for me anyway. But it was a word that came through for the collective, as in, while we're in these pause periods, that is what is happening. The
Yeah.
alchemy is happening, but if we don't fucking stop and go into those pause periods and on the
Hmm.
pause periods, well, then how can the alchemy happen if we're just continually moving? We're not stopping.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yep.
And,
How?
and I and I think that this like something that's been coming up in my community around the pause is also about the rhythm, like the cycles and rhythm. And and you can take that in so many different ways, right? Because you might connect to that from the rhythm of nature, the rhythm of the moon, or the astrological movement, whatever it is, the rhythm of the body, um, the cycles in the body. It's allowing ourselves to sink back into that more natural state of being, isn't it? And part of that is creating a pause. I often get given from my guides the analogies around nature and around like the growth of a seed and a tree or a flower or whatever it is. But it's really that, isn't it? It's like we're also in the winter season. So for us, this is a season of
Hibernation.
amen.
Yeah,
Correct.
I feel that. I feel the seasons a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's so funny because it's like it's right in front of your face. And I think we spoke about this last week, but until you stop and you pause, you don't actually see that it's right there. Um, and I was also this same client last night. I was saying to her what was coming through was you've been so set on like one or two options that you've missed the fact that there are these things here on the periphery that's what you're actually supposed to be doing or where you're supposed to be going. I can't remember what the context was now, but she hadn't seen that because she'd been so focused on what she thought were the two. So she'd been pushing, pushing, pushing. And it's like, why is this not happening? Why is it not working? And it's because it was over here.
Right.
Um,
Yeah, but we're so focused on, yeah, what our
yeah,
mind already
yeah,
set.
yeah.
Focus. Yeah, it's oh, you just, when you were speaking, then you just reminded me too of like, all of the cycles. And like, for instance, now I got my period yesterday, and
Mm,
this week in the gym, my lead up to having my period, I get really tired. I know it's coming, but my body is starting to go into that. Like, I get really tired, and I take it easy in the gym, and I make it known to the trainers without, because they're all bloody blokes. I'm like, "Look, I'm not feeling it this week. I'll make it clear,
yeah,
don't hassle me and don't push me because, you know, oh,
I might
I
explode.
don't, yeah. And it's funny because I got my period yesterday, and I went into the gym this morning with that same mindset of, oh, like feeling a bit sorry for myself. I'm honoring this cycle, and I'm not spiking my cortisol levels. I said to the coach, because he was trying to push, like, no, you're a 20-something-year-old man and I'm a 41-year-old woman. Like, I'm in
Yeah.
a stage of my life and I listen to my body. And it was so funny with that. I lifted with my bench press heavier than I ever have. I,
Mm,
we did front squats as well. I lifted heavier with that as well. He goes, "What the fuck are you talking about? You come here to take it easy today." And it was almost like, yeah, I shocked myself. I was like, it was like because I'd surrendered into
yeah, I love that.
hearing my body and I'm just listening to my body, it actually did more than what I thought I was
Yep.
capable of. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know that makes me think of as well through this, with the rhythm and the cycle, it really is about listening to the body, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
And I love when he said that then that you were like, um, I think you said listening to your body or observing the body and allowing the body to also guide what
Yeah.
it wanted to do.
And it did. It was like when I sort of said those words out loud, I'm not spiking my cortisol levels. I'm listening, I'm at this. It was
Hmm.
like I acknowledged my body out loud
Yeah.
almost and made it very clear to the coach and to everybody that was there. Listen up. I'm listening to my body. And it was like my body went, okay, well, fuck yeah. Well, let's do this then, and pushed me on.
Yeah.
And it just shows you, it's like when you do surrender into that or when you do honor that space or whatever it is, that you can go past the limits that you think are,
Oh,
are possible.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was almost like my body was thanking me or not thanking me, but going, yeah, okay, you're honoring me and you're acknowledging me. So yeah.
I love that. I love that. And I think it's interesting as well, just even you saying you're a 20 something male and I'm a 40 something it's but that's true. You are in different stages and cycles of life. And I think that there is something to be said, and you're not near this at the moment, but there is something to be said around the menopause and the shift like menopause, because a friend of mine who's deep in menopause has been saying to me, she's like, Ali, that in menopause, she said, you do go into like a void, like it is a pause. She said, because I wonder if that's what you're also like tuning into, even though I don't feel like I'm there yet. She keeps reminding me because she's like, I know you don't want to like voice that. And it's not that I don't want to voice that. I think I want to change my reality around the way that I experience that, because you just hear so many
Yeah.
horror stories, let's be honest. Um, so I want to go into it with no like preconceived, I guess,
Your own.
expectations or ideas. I'm going to transition in the way that I want to transition, but it does make a lot of sense that they would naturally come with that. And as I said, I don't feel like the pause I'm experiencing right now has is connected to that, but I'm also aware that that's likely to be coming for me as well.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's at some stage. Yeah. And I've heard you speak about, we've had conversations about
Yeah.
menopause and things that have come through for you to the point where it was almost like you should be teaching people and sharing with people about this stuff that was coming into your awareness about 6 months ago.
Yeah. Which will probably come. And I think that what's dropping in right now as well is that understanding that maybe if I'm nailing the pause now, that it won't have to be such a significant shift, because I feel as though that I'm bridging that transition and bridging the wise woman, the mother to the
Yeah. Yeah, to the
um
bone. Yeah.
Crone, yeah. So I feel like I'm kind of bridging that. I mean, and that I guess is what they describe as perimenopause. But what if you could do that with more of an aware state? You don't just show up to menopause and suddenly you're like having to do all of the catch-up work that you have missed.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Um,
Love that. Yeah.
and I think it's another byproduct of doing that inner work and being present with yourself, isn't it? I mean, I can feel my third eye responding as I say this, because I have been, this is Maria.
Yeah.
So I probably told you this, but like this was probably a year and a half ago, maybe even longer, that I had um, heard her talk about the description about the energy around the sacral, and how when you reach that point and it stops, procreation is not is
Yeah.
it, you don't need to procreate anymore, but you're still producing the energy in that space and it doesn't know what to do with itself, and so it's obviously creating that imbalance too, and it's creating the disruption. So she had this practice of bringing the sacral energy up to the third eye, because the symbolism, of course, is stepping into the wisdom, and so taking that creative energy and bringing it to the third eye, describing this as a practice that the women, the grandmothers, the crones would have taken mothers transitioning through around the fire, kind of, because it's another initiation, isn't it? Another rites of passage. But I did that, and I do that on occasions when I feel a lot of energy in that space. But I think that actually helped a lot when I think I was experiencing some of those initial symptoms. Um, and maybe we're having this conversation because maybe I need to be more aware of my cycles, because I'm just realizing maybe I'm more into menopause than I actually think I am. But then part of me is like, does it really matter?
Yeah, I'm just
I'm
about
like, yeah.
that's a good thing because you're not experiencing or, looking at your experience the way the majority of people do, as a horrific experience. And like, that's all we've ever been told, is that menopause is shit. It's awful. You get this, you get that. We've never been told anything good about it.
Yeah.
Back to what you just brought up then with the sacral energy and drawing that up into the third eye, because you're stepping into your wise woman era. That in itself, it should be something that everybody, like every woman, is told and has some sort of understanding about, because oh yeah, we don't have to play along with the old narrative. And I hope you are. I hope you are into your menopause and you just it hasn't even, you know?
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you step out the other side of it and be like, what the fuck's everybody talking about then? Yeah.
Well, I'm really setting the intention, and I want to say programming, the because I think hot flushes, people talk about the hot flushes, and I don't really know if I'm getting them or not, because in all honesty, what comes through from my body and my higher self is that when I feel like I'm experiencing something like that, it's the alchemical process. And so even just this understanding of, is it a hot flush or flash, or is this actually part of the transition where you are alchemizing and resetting, recalibrating into that all that you have learned, embodied, transmuted over your lifetime to step into that wise woman era. So that's the way I'm choosing to relate to it. And maybe that might be perceived by other people as being naive or ignorant or bypassing it. I don't know. But
No,
my
no.
body, that's what my body is telling me. So I'm happy to let my body lead on this one and lean into the alchemical process that might come. And it's not regular, like it's not necessarily regular, but I know it's interesting to observe when I feel it and the way I feel it, because sometimes it's just on a particular area of my body. And so allowing myself to connect with the idea that there is something that is alchemizing, and embracing it and letting
Yeah.
it pass.
Yeah. Yes. Knowing that energy, like, and that's what you're feeling in your body with the hot flushes or flushes.
Mhm.
It is. It's energy. That's
Mm.
what everybody is feeling, but I just think that doesn't really get acknowledged. It's just become like a medical term that, oh,
Yeah.
this is what happens. And so that perspective that you just shared is so good.
I also feel like a lot of it can do with the nervous system response. I don't know, what your sort of anxiety response in the body is, or your fight flight, but for me, it's always been like I flush up, like a wave of heat runs through me, and I get red. Like I used to get really red through my neck, and so there are times too where I observe where what may be being interpreted or could be interpreted as a hot flush, when it's actually something flushing through my nervous system. And when I observe, like, oh, what am I reacting to, or what's my body perceiving as a fear or a threat or a danger here? And then when I observe that, I feel that subside. And so I think this is something that's so powerful, like we were talking about earlier with the wisdom of the body and listening to our bodies, is because, you know, I could use my mum as an example because I know that she struggles a lot with menopause and has done for many, many years. Um, but what if, you know, you could start to work out that there's all these different things at play. It's not just lumped into one particular bucket, and I need to suffer with this because I've just got to go through this for 10 years and wait till it stops, you know. And I think, again, maybe people will perceive that as me being naive or bypassing it or whatever. But I think when we have the power to take control of our lives, when we have the power to shape our reality, we get to choose. And when we connect with our body, when we listen to our body and we embrace the cycles, the seasons, the rhythm, the pause, the all the things. I mean, potentially this is why menopause is a thing, because maybe you need to pause to actually really absorb all this, to really receive all of this, see all this, and choose it. Um,
Let the alchemy occur.
yeah,
Yeah.
because it is a major life transition,
Mhm.
um, as is the maiden to mother.
I know. Yeah. But
You
the
know,
crone,
with
like where, moving into that crone energy, it's that final piece kind of thing, the wise woman.
Mhm,
So imagine what does need to be alchemized. Imagine all it's like looking back, it's like doing a life review, really, isn't it? Going
mhm.
through all the mother, then the maiden, and even back down like into like childhood, all of the things that need to be like a whole life's worth of stuff that needs to be transmuted or whatever so that you can alchemize
Yeah.
everything learned, embody all that wisdom. Um, it, it's it's a big deal. And I suppose it is no wonder people experience it for 10 years because if they don't have that awareness or that connection to their body, it's just happening, but it's probably happening in a state of, resistance and it's taking a lot longer than it could, or it should, because there's no acknowledgement there. Of what's
No.
actually.
No, and that's probably where the nervous system drops in because it creates even more resistance to it. And it's interesting as we're talking about it, just when you were talking then, I was feeling this real gift and the blessing that this transition is, and that we've lost as women, we've lost the connection to, like, I actually feel quite emotional about that because I feel like it is such a beautiful transition and time, and we've just lost our way with how we connect to that. And yeah, maybe this is, I know lots of women are doing work in this area. Um, and dear friend of mine is very passionate about this as well, and that she'll do great things in that space. But I think that it's bringing us back into the community, like of the tribe, the grandmothers, leading that, and allowing ourselves to be open to, well, are there other ways and are there other possibilities? I mean, denial is a word that keeps coming into my awareness as well, and I don't necessarily know that that would equate for a lot of women, but I think that not wanting to face themselves, or it's doing the inner work again, isn't it? It's meeting yourself, it's meeting your shadows. And so that's why I feel like if we're grasping this in motherhood or even in maiden, if we're understanding this cycle and we're moving with meeting our shadows, accepting our shadows, and transmuting, alchemizing throughout our time, maybe that transition to crone would be eased, or maybe we would navigate it with ease because we'd be like, okay, well, I know this is shadow, or I know this is something to alchemize, or whatever it might be. But that rite of passage might be a little shorter, a little more smooth,
Yeah,
as well.
definitely, because it's not, like you said, it's not something that is widely sort of spoken about as generally as it should be, just
Mm.
as women,
Mhm,
even from
mhm,
that younger age. And I
mhm,
think, moving from that maiden to mother,
mhm.
you move into mother and you lose your, I don't care what everyone says, you lose yourself to some point,
Of
even
course.
if it's just for a short time. Like that's such a massive transition from maiden to mother. the last thing you're kind of thinking about, at least for a while, is yourself and,
Yep.
oh, okay, well, why am I reacting like this? Or why is this happening? Like you're just not really in that space. So it's like it all tends to build up, doesn't it? Until you get
Yeah.
to um that crone, like it's knocking on your door sort of thing. And then, like you said, it'll all hit you and it all sort of plays out the way it does, very intensely. But we all know the grandmother energy. Like everybody loves grandmother energy. Like that's the crone energy.
Mm-hmm.
They're wise, they're beautiful grandmothers. Like the grandmother frequency is just so beautiful, isn't it?
Yes.
Right energy. Like and
Yeah.
it made me laugh when you were talking because I was like, yeah, the older you get, the less fucks you give about anything.
Yeah.
It's like you kind of let bits go here and there.
Yeah.
As I'm
Yeah.
getting older, I'm like, oh, I really don't give a shit about that anymore. I don't care what people think or
Mm-hmm.
moving into that wise woman, like it is
Mm-hmm.
slowly moving into that space.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's such a powerful time. And I think you're right. I think that with motherhood, and I mean that happened to me. That happened to me, and I see that happen to a lot of women that I know, and I work with a lot of women who come to find themselves again. Um, but again, this is where there's supportive community, isn't it, to help through those stages. So if we had more women stepping into their crone and then guiding those maidens stepping into motherhood, and there's always going to be an individual journey and experience, so we can't create a perfect scenario, but I think that if we're passing the wisdom on, we were being there as a support, we were holding space for one another, um, in an understanding, it might ease some of that as well, you
Yeah.
know.
How
And
lucky
I,
have you?
sorry.
How lucky your daughter is to have you.
Well, I was thinking about that because I was thinking that I try to give a lot of information, and with it, it's actually interesting just how much she absorbs, I will say, that she comes back with. But I think as in her maiden era, she's 18 now and stepping out into the world, but just even with her body, connecting to her body, just understanding her body, understanding her rhythms, her cycles, her hormones, just to help start getting that conversation going. And sometimes it lands, sometimes it doesn't, and it's always, of course, a work in progress because she has her individual journey. But I think that if I had some of that information when I was her age, gosh, it would be very different.
Yes, it's more than what we got. It's definitely more than what I got too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So it's I think the power of the sisterhood, it might sound a bit corny, but I think it's just really ringing true. And I weave this back to what you were saying about not really wanting to show up for the call today and not feeling like wanting to be in that in a space, in an energy, but allowing yourself to come and to be held by a sister or by another woman, and to feel all that you're feeling, and just to be yourself, and just to um, be supported. Even if you take nothing away from that, is just that, knowing that you don't have to go through it alone. You don't have to, particularly because you've got a house full of boys, men.
Yeah.
There's a lot of masculine energy there. So I think, I don't know, I just felt like that needs to be, or wants to be acknowledged for you, that, see how powerful it is by allowing yourself just to even show up with me once a week and
Yeah.
be held, be seen, and to be
Oh,
vulnerable.
yeah. I know. I know I can be vulnerable with you. I know I can say anything with you. Yeah.
Thank you
And
for
I'm
joining us in this space of truth, reflection, and connection. If today's conversation stirred something within you, we invite you to sit with it, journal on it, or share it with someone who walks the path of self-awareness too.
These conversations are living transmissions, and we are so grateful to be on this journey with you. Until next time, remember, your human experience is sacred and you are never walking alone.
With love, Lauren
and Ali.